Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to day 2 of our 4-day coverage of Microsoft Ignite Live. Thanks so much for joining us here at the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando, Florida for Microsoft's biggest tech event of the year. We'll be here on this live stream and also over there on Twitch at twitch.tv/Visual Studio until 6 p.m. to show you why this is the place to be if you want to be on innovation's cutting edge. My name is Jeff Fritz, and I'm here with Donovan Brown. Hey, Donovan, what'd you enjoy about day 1?
What I really enjoyed about day 1, obviously, was the keynote from Satya. Every time you get an opportunity to see him speak, it's really inspiring. And then we followed that up with a lot of technical keynotes as well. So you got to go deep into some of the areas that he talked about in particular. It was a fun day for me because I actually was in one of those technical keynotes speaking with Jason Zander, and we got to demo some really cool tech like Visual Studio Online.
Oh, yes.
Well, we were reusing that term, so it's not the Visual Studio Online you remember. It's the one that you thought it was the first time.
Absolutely.
It's actually that this time. And we also did some really cool things with the terminal because we have a new Windows terminal for the developers out there. So it was a lot of fun. And a lot of cool stuff we could do.
Yeah, I heard something about a movie reference with the terminal.
I was able to take our Windows terminal and make it look like a retro terminal. We had the War Games computer talking to us. It was awesome.
Oh my gosh, I love hearing that. I love seeing all the great demos that come out of there. Even having Satya at the end of his keynote playing Minecraft on stage.
It's like I tell everybody, it's not your daddy's Microsoft. This is a different time for us. It's just an exciting time to be associated with, partnering with, and working with Microsoft.
Oh my gosh, yes. And now we've got some developer announcements that happened yesterday. We've got some more AI being baked into Visual Studio and our tools.
I was telling a story that I remember when I bought my first compiler, right? I drove to a store to go buy a box that had disk in it that had software on it.
Oh
right?
my gosh, and it was heavy because it had books in it.
Exactly.
Books.
Because there was no way to
things.
read that anywhere else. And there was this floppy disk after floppy disk you stuck in there. But I went home so excited because I was holding a compiler. Like I could write anything I wanted to. The future was going to be amazing. But then now, I was happy when we had syntax highlighting.
Yeah.
And now they have AI-assisted development to where it looks at what you're doing, realizes that you're making the same edits over and over again, and then starts to say, can I make those edits for you? And we'll finish editing the file. It's unbelievable stuff.
It's great support, great tooling for developers to make them more productive. Now, before we look ahead to day 2, let's catch up with some highlights from day 1.
This year, we're taking a new innovative approach by making this entire hall the keynote stage.
This is an amazing setup for a keynote.
The most key thing is for you to build your own tech capability.
Don't be shy. Introduce yourself. Give them a high five.
Do you think Satya is going to pull a rabbit out of his hat?
Yes.
What technologies do you all work on?
Office 365, Azure, Microsoft Teams, SharePoint.
Power Platform, Dynamics 365, all that awesome stuff.
Thank you for joining us here at the Azure Technical Keynote.
We are going to take you on a whirlwind tour of Microsoft 365.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh. Now, stick with us all day long because we're going to be chatting with tech experts, insiders, and the people behind the products. Plus, we're going to take some exclusive tours and getting an up-close peek at some of the demos that conference attendees right here are getting to experience firsthand. Now, what are you looking forward to here in day 2, Donovan?
I think one of the things that's going to be great is obviously Hanselman and Friends. Like that's the go-to ticket today. You cannot miss that session. So we definitely want to go to that one today. Another thing I would do is walk around the expo floor. I had a lot of fun yesterday when I was walking around. I found the air hockey table, and some people know this about me. I was ranked 11th in the world at one point.
Okay, hang on. 11th in the world, right?
At air hockey, exactly. So I was like, I have to go play this machine. And the poor thing, like my first shot I scored, and I was just looked at him like, yeah, this isn't ready for a professional, but I'll work with you and see what we can do. I was trying to make it blue screen itself, but I didn't get that far yet.
So you're going to help to train the AI.
Yeah, they took my information.
Strength.
Exactly. They took my information. I was like, yeah, pros don't play like amateurs play, and it just wasn't ready for that.
Okay. Now, after Scott Hanselman and Friends, the Scotts are together. Scott Hanselman, Scott Hunter, talking about .NET Core, the future, what's happening here. We've got .NET Core 3.1 on the horizon. Big things happening with our developer tools. It's really great to see.
It is. You have to remember, Microsoft was created by developers, right? And we're still obsessed with developers. We're giving you a world-class terminal. We're taking Visual Studio and making sure that you can use those types of products anywhere. You can use it on Mac, you can use it on Windows, you can use it on Linux, any language, any program. And we've been trying to do that for so long. And now even with any platform, right?
Yeah.
Wherever you want your code to run, whatever language you want to program in, we have products that are going to help you do that better.
Yep. Now,
one thing I want to make sure that we focus on tomorrow at 5 p.m., you're going to have an opportunity to hear Mitra talk about our innovation for the alternative future. And Mitra's one of my favorite people. I've loved working with her, and she's gone over to AI, and there you're going to be able to see all the innovations we're doing in AI in her keynote. So this is going to be an amazing way to see a lot of the breakout innovations that we're doing to make sure that artificial intelligence is accessible to everybody that's using it. And that's going to be tomorrow, or Wednesday, between 5 and 6 p.m. So definitely, if you're into artificial intelligence, you want to see how easily we've made it for you to add it to your applications, because in some situations, it's only 2 lines of code.
Yeah.
And you're now able to take artificial intelligence and add it to what you're doing. It's fantastic.
Now, as we get things going today, we want to tell you about the various ways that you can experience Microsoft Ignite. You can stay with us right here on this live stream all day for a curated schedule of events, including a tech keynote featuring, like I said, our friend, partner program manager, Scott Hanselman and Friends. They're going to be talking about app development for everyone, and that starts at 9 a.m., just a few minutes from now.
Sure. And another thing, like I said before, we want to make sure that you have the full experience here, so be sure and go and register at the tech communities, which allows you to pick any of the events you want to take place in, and your experience here is in your hands, right? So if you want to go to a keynote, or perhaps you want to go to a breakout, you are in complete control of your destiny. So make sure you take advantage of that.
Now, don't just watch, okay? We encourage you to be part of that conversation. Send us your questions on aka.ms/MS Ignite Live, right there, okay? We'll be using those questions to drive our Q&As with guests on this stage, so get them in. Send us your questions there, chat room, all day, every day throughout the event.
We're just ready to turn it over to the stream and Scott Hanselman, but before we do that, we have some friends of ours that are out walking around this, the Developer Architecture Center, and we want to go ahead and throw it over to them so they can show you some of the cool things that are happening.
Good morning, everyone. Well, it is day 2, and I'm here with Jeffrey Palermo at the Developers Architecture, where today it's going to be all about developers. Jeffrey, welcome to the centre. Tell us more about what is happening today, but please speak English to me because I'm not a developer.
Got it. Well, welcome, Helen. It's a great day today. Day 2, Tuesday here at the Orlando Convention Center is all about developers, and there's so much for developers to see and do, and it all starts here at the Development and Architecture Center. Now, we are mere moments away from the big application dev keynote with Scott Hanselman at the Chopin Theater, so if you're seeing this, make your way there, but right after that, come to the Development and Architecture Center. We have product team booths behind us, Visual Studio 2019, and you can get a t-shirt, a poster, and there's so much to do here. We'll just give you a few highlights. There's the .NET booths with some IoT, .NET Core 3, and also, if you brought a laptop, you brought some code, we have a debug bar where you can actually open up your laptop and get some help with maybe some hard code that you've been looking at.
I thought that was for getting rid of cockroaches, but I stand corrected. So tell me, what's happening over there? I see a lot of yarn.
Right. So, over here, it may look colorful, but this is actually really cool. Let me walk you through it. So, you start off, and if you haven't done this, come over here and run a string, okay? So first we ask, is this their first Ignite or second or third? Wrap it around, and then you can develop for Windows, Linux, Mac OS. Pick what you develop for, what IDE you use, what editor, and then what languages you primarily used, and then desktop, mobile, web, and then always the controversial tabs versus spaces, which we'll never solve.
Fantastic, that sounds great. Now we're walking around and we're seeing a lot of different spaces that developers will get a run through of different sessions. Tell us more about what this area could be.
Sure, so this place is absolutely going to be hopping in about, I would say, an hour. And these black chairs, they are the most comfortable on the conference floor, hands down, and this is where you can talk tech in a more smaller setting with someone from the product team. And it's really, and it was really crowded yesterday, and I expect it will be crowded today as well.
Fantastic. I think I needed those chairs because, I was getting really sleepy. But obviously no time for sleep at Ignite. Now, tell us more about what people can also expect here. Just a few moments.
Right. So Microsoft absolutely loves developers, and there's so much to do today. The agenda is aimed at developers, and so make sure to pull up the Microsoft Events app. You can stream a lot of content directly from the app, and you can see what sessions to go to, where they are, who's speaking at them, do some research there, but also come and talk to the experts here at the product booth, here in the Development and Architecture Center, and get your questions answered, what you can do now, what's coming forward, because there's so many application types.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. It seems as if there's a heap on today. So we are moments away from our tech keynote. So let's go back to the live stage.
All right, we're back. And my gosh, I love seeing all the great stuff that's going on out there on the floor. It's a chance to meet the engineers.
It is, and I think people don't take advantage of that. You have favorite products, you have favorite features of those products. The people who actually created those products are in this building, right? Yeah. So you can literally ask them, when is this coming? Why did you change that? How can I fix this? It's a very unique opportunity to get that close to the engineers that are writing the software that makes you excited and passionate about your job. So please take the opportunity to go speak to them. They'd love it. And also, don't be shy to say hello to someone that you recognize, right? I love saying hello to people that follow me or want to take a picture with me. We're always going to say yes. Please don't be shy. Just come up and say hello.
Oh, absolutely. Now, some of those folks that are over there work on some of your favorite programming languages. We have a survey running right now. There's a poll out there. If you're watching on the Microsoft Ignite stream, you can vote for what your favorite programming language is. And, of course, we all know my favorite is winning the way. I've got the hat. C# at 57%. Of course it's winning. Visual Basic is in the mix here at 7%. All right.
I was a diehard C++ programmer. I mean, okay. I was that C++ programmer who thought all other programmers weren't programmers because C++ was so hard. And then I remember when I switched over to C#, I'm like, wow, why did I wait so long to get to this language that makes everything so much easier? So I'm a huge C# fan as well.
Now, I notice the one that I fumble with here a little bit didn't even make the board. JavaScript.
Or TypeScript. TypeScript's a really fast language. I was surprised that too. So I'm surprised other isn't higher simply because the people are voting for TypeScript under there. That's
gosh. I'm so sorry, JavaScript fans. And if you watch me on Twitch, you know I'm all thumbs when it comes.
Yeah, JavaScript's an interesting language because you can actually have a function that has properties that has functions on it. It's the wild, wild west whenever I program in JavaScript. So sometimes the power is fun and sometimes it's really, really scary, which is why things like TypeScript are so nice because it kind of puts some guardrails on a language that otherwise would let you do some of the most ridiculous stuff you've ever imagined in your life.
It's too dynamic. Oh my gosh. Now, we're pushing right up against the 9 o'clock hour, which means it's time for our featured breakout session, App Development for Everyone with Hanselman and Friends. We'll see you right after the session.